Hello viewers, tonight I'm going to read chapter 10 of Claymore, but first I would like to show you something very interesting. Now, for the past, I believe, 3 chapters we've been reading about mummies, or rather a mummy in a cathedral, and I asked the question, I said, I wonder where the author got this idea from. It seems very strange. And so, as it so happens, there really are mummies in cathedrals and churches, which is very strange, but very true. Now, if you, the viewers, would like to learn more about this interesting subject, you can watch this video called Mummies in Churches, where I expressed basically very similar opinions to the ones I'm expressing now. I think it's weird. As said in the description, I think it's very disturbing. I do not think that these people should have mummies in their churches and cathedrals, which is what Rocky said in the manga, which that is a real thing. I was very surprised by that. But one of the original reasons I created the channel was to investigate some of the purposes, or rather some of the ideas that are involved in some of the media that we consume. So when I had read about a mummy being in a church, I thought they took that from Egyptian culture, but no. The mummies here, this mummy is from I believe a cathedral in Mexico. But there are churches, like churches in Ireland, that have mummies in them, in different churches all over Europe, and who knows where else. Very interesting, very strange. I think that they should not be in the churches, they should be somewhere else. Very interesting subject. I may read more about that one day, but I have one video about that subject for anyone who wants to know. And I'd almost forgotten. Let me see. He has his I believe that's his left eye, and his right eye is out. So she cut the right eye out, and the right eye is often associated with goodness, the sun. It is known as the dexterous eye, and dexter is a word that means right, which often is associated with goodness. And this left eye is in his head still, and the left eye is often associated with malevolence. I often look for that symbolism. You may see it in media, whether any of us would like to acknowledge it or not. It is indeed a type of symbolism, and is often utilized in media. But anyhow, let me basically try to narrate this. Claymore! Now, the monster hunt begins for real. Graw! Don't push your luck, girlie. You won't get anywhere with just one sword. Kabash. Smashing sounds. I cannot imagine that this is good for that sword. Claire! Grrr. More sword sounds. Clang, clang, clang. Okay, everybody's looking at this fight. They're very surprised. Alright, she's jumping up. She kicks him in the face. Oh, goodness. You. More sword sounds. I mean, you can notice that basically I'm trying not to do the sound effects. Dashing sounds, I suppose. Ooh, that hurts just looking at it. It makes me feel bad for that sword. But at the same time, I have to say, they sort of say that this is sort of an impenetrable metal. It's this type of magical metal, I suppose. I can only imagine that is what it would be, because there is no way that you would treat swords this way. And for me, or for anyone who, and most of us know something about swords, for most of us, when we see this, every time we see it, it just sort of makes us very annoyed, because we realize that if you did this with any type of sword, of any type of steel, of any type of real metal, we just know it would be horrible. And so, oh my goodness, and here's the thing to consider. Sure, it's made of this very good metal, but at the same time, to think about it this way is that, sure, you have the metal, it won't break just because maybe you stuck it in a stone, okay. However, as you do things like this, the metal gets duller over time. The idea is not to basically take your sword and rub it against stone or trees or anything such as that and try to keep it as sharp as possible so you can cut through things. But, it is manga and it looks cool, and therefore it must work. I have to remember, and I do, it's just that I often state the obvious. The laws of manga are different than those of real life. But for all of us who know anything about swords and have bought swords or knives or Bowie knives or whatnot, we see this, it makes us feel sad inside. It just does. Okay, dashing sounds. Okay. Or jumping sounds or whatnot. Grrr. Okay. She apprehends whatever he's trying to do, and I imagine she dodges. Yes, she does. More dashing sounds. Oh goodness, he's wide open, it seems. And she's about to take the swing. Grrr. Oh, deep cutting sounds. Okay. Gah! Okay. Now he's charging straight for it. Oh no, wait. Gah! Oh, you. What? That's amazing. So this is the true strength of a claymore. No. Look, she's straining. She's fighting beyond her, oh goodness, beyond her limits. That's why. What's wrong? You look pale. I wondered why a claymore would try so hard to show off. But I see now. You did that to make me panic so you could finish me off quickly. You're trying to avoid a long, drawn-out fight. You missed just now. You weren't aiming for my arm. You wanted my head. Okay. Ooh. I do not really know how, this stuff works. You know what it reminds me of? There was a show called Full Metal Alchemist, and of course a lot of you probably know. So many people watch anime, just about everyone I know is, most people who I've associated with know about Full Metal Alchemist, but there was a character in that particular series called Lust. That's what this reminds me of. I think this utility was a bit overdone because so many monsters used it, but I don't know. These nails, I suppose, seem to sort of retract and contract at will, like some type of very flexible substance, but anyhow. Oh, a hit. This is no time to be daydreaming. I guess that was him talking. Grrr. Okay, real deep slashing sounds. She's being cut up pretty bad. Interesting picture here with the eye. I guess that's just artistic. I don't suppose there's any particular meaning behind that, but let me see. I mean, I guess it's just drawn that way, where you can't see both eyes. I do not know. I'm always looking for little things. And truth be told, people, I am trying to get back in the hang of this, because for a long time, one of the reasons why I was doing a lot less of these videos about manga and why it's so hard for me to sort of get back in the hang of it is because I had some difficulties, so to speak. If none of you have seen I believe it was one of the channel update videos, not the one that I had done like maybe a week ago, but it was another one. I had basically told everyone about how I had to take care of a relative who was being neglected. So it was kind of hard for me to get back in the hang of things, and I'm still trying to get back into the hang of things. I never really was doing these on a regular basis. I'm going to try, because I think that was sort of my intention, to finish all of these. The sound effects got me really hung up for a while, but now I have a different plan for that. Okay. Now that looks really strange, how these type of... They almost look like tentacles, don't they? And I guess this is how this type of Yoma flesh seems to work and respond. Who knows? Personally, I still think, and I have my own theory about this. Now, Red Moon, Blood Moon, he has plenty of very interesting ideas about this. They're very intricate. Personally, I think that they're getting a lot of the substances that they're using that from other dimensions, and that somehow they're able to control. To me, they're controlling interdimensional substances. That is what I think. I think somehow they're able to. In other words, I think this is very similar to magic. I think that what Yoma do is very similar to magic, because it's almost as though I have no other way to explain it. I mean, and I don't think anyone else can. I really do not. No, other people may disagree, but that is what I think. I think the way it works, it's almost just too... I mean, how can you go against something that can just literally take its fingers and somehow use it as a type of spear that can literally rip through your body? But that is very interesting. Too slow, much too slow. Everything you do is too slow. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. How far can it go? Oh my goodness, this has impaled her in the air. Goodness. Oh, Rocky is just looking, so worried and surprised. Like the view? Are you afraid of heights? Well, you don't seem to be enjoying it. Relax. In that case, I'll let you down. Bang. Smashing sounds. Claire! Oh, goodness. I don't particularly know what is going on with that sound effect up there. Okay, let's see. Now die! Ooh, he has actually gotten in the way of Claire and decided to use his body as a human shield. And it just goes right through the armor. Which, goodness, very interesting. It's their skin is as hard as stone. I don't understand that. But I have to try not to rationalize it. But at the same time, I sort of do attempt to rationalize a lot of the things I see. Okay, let me get in the hang of this. Oh, I suppose he's surprised that he even tried to even do that. Gawk! Okay, now that's slashing sounds. Ugh! You alright? Can you stand? I'm ashamed to say it, but no matter how hard we fight, we're no match for it, just like you said. Use our lives however you wish. Just make sure to kill that thing. Okay, let's see. More slashing sounds. Oh, goodness, he gets cut. Gah! Oh. Gah! Quiet! I should have killed you two from the start. Oh, that's pretty terrible. Okay, let's see. Yeah! Huh. Okay, so it went right through his... Okay, so these nails went right through his arm. So they were stuck in... they just keep going... No way. Personally, I think both of these men would have been dead by now, to be honest, but... in anime, there are different rules. I mean, all of it's pretty crazy. So, what can I say? Okay, let me begin. Did you think that charging at me was enough, weakling? Gah. Now do it. Okay, so she's jumping on top of him to get at his head. What? Grrr! I guess screaming sounds are a war cry or something on her part, I suppose. Not bad, eh? For a weakling. Why, you little... More cutting sounds. More slashing sounds. Okay. Gah, gah. Swishing sounds. Deep cutting sounds. Ooh, that really has to do something, surely. Did it just walk into my blade? More cutting sounds. Doesn't seem to be working. Fool! No matter where you slice, you'll never hit my weak spot. And don't think you'll get another shot. Ugh! Claire! Okay, now, power-up sounds, I suppose. Because she's using that Yoki power, and here we have this sort of vein-popping sound effect, and... Okay. Now that she's powered up with her Yoki, let's see, is his head the weak spot? And she, well, obviously that obviously the head is the, never mind. To me, I would think, obviously, you've cut every place else. Of course the head is his weak spot. That you really need to use your Yoki power to determine the head is the weak spot. But anyhow, people, that was chapter 10. Very brutal. She cuts him in half. Yeah. I have to say that this was a very, most of the chapters in this manga are violent, to be honest. And I'm going to try to add, to take some time and do more of these. Because when I start something, I like to finish it. It's just as I said, this is sort of a record for myself as well. In terms of manga and commentary, because for me, I like to read over manga, because I had read this once before, but for me to keep a sort of catalog of videos, that to me is very useful, because sometimes I just want to just look back at something, as well as just keep notes of certain things. So, just as I said, if you didn't think mummies were in churches and cathedrals, well, they are. I was surprised too. It was very weird to me. But it is just as I say in this video, you don't know what is in very old churches and cathedrals. You have no idea. Now myself, do I go into churches of the Catholic or even Eastern Orthodox variety? Not really. I have said before that in terms of, as far as my, I mean, you may call it a denomination. I don't have a denomination, but I'm more of a Quaker. So we don't have any of these weird oddities in our churches, but I mean, some churches do have this stuff. I mean, that's kind of weird. I'm more of on the mystical side myself, but I mean, so I don't really deal with this type of stuff. Catholic churches have that type of stuff. I mean, why would anyone keep a mummy in their church? I don't know, but you may be in the situation that Rocky was in. If you're in one of these churches, I mean, if you live in the United States like me, I guess maybe we know that there's a mummy in the Mexican cathedral. So that's pretty close to where, I mean, that's in North America basically. So I mean, in Europe, there's a lot of churches with mummies in them. It's weird. I had no idea. Anyhow, some of you, if you want to see some of the different content on this channel, besides just manga, there's plenty of interesting things that you may or may not be interested in. If you're interested in Elden Ring, I also talk about Elden Ring. Some of the narrative ideas about that. As far as the channel, well, there's a channel update which basically doesn't really cover much. This channel update sort of tells you most of which one? This one. Yeah, this channel update sort of tells you most of what has went on in my personal life, if you want to know sort of what I have been dealing with for the past few weeks, and why many of my videos have been delayed, especially in regard to manga. As far as what I read as well, in addition to manga, pulp fiction. Maybe some of you saw in a particular video I said I do manga as well as pulp fiction now. This is one story, The Crawling Horror. I will be eventually reading stories by H.P. Lovecraft, and as well as Robert E. Howard and other people. But anyhow, there's a wide range of content for anyone who wants to watch. It's basically all in the same format. Podcast. One day I may do edited content, but for now, I haven't gotten to that point. But anyhow, may you be blessed and farewell.